Across the world, majestic species have vanished, erased by time, greed, or habitat loss. The Caspian tiger, the Barbary lion, the Javan tiger, the saber-toothed cat. Once rulers of their ecosystems, now reduced to bones, paintings, and fading memories. But science is preparing something radical, a resurrection. Through cloning, gene editing, and ancient DNA, scientists are racing to bring extinct big cats back to life. But the question isn't just whether they can, it's whether they should. Because cloning an apex predator from the past opens an ethical minefield for the future. Let's begin with the science. Cloning uses DNA from preserved tissue, bones, or museum specimens. In some cases, fragments are repaired or spliced into the genome of a close relative. A surrogate mother, often another big cat species, carries the embryo to term. This process has already been tested with endangered species like the black-footed ferret and gaur. Now, scientists are mapping the genomes of extinct big cats. With new techniques like CRISPR, they can even edit out mutations or insert ancient traits. What was once science fiction is rapidly becoming scientific fact. So what big cats are we talking about? The Caspian tiger, extinct since the 1970s, once roamed Central Asia's rivers and forests. Its closest living cousin, the Siberian tiger, shares over 95% of its DNA. The Barbary lion, last seen in the wild in the 1940s, was native to North Africa. It's larger, darker, and more genetically distinct than today's African lions. The Javan tiger, extinct since the 1980s, lived in Indonesian jungles. Even the saber-toothed cats, gone for 10,000 years, are being considered by some researchers. Their bones are plentiful. Their DNA, fragmented, but still readable. Now let's imagine one is cloned successfully. A Caspian tiger cub is born. Healthy. Breathing. Alive. It's the first of its kind in half a century. But what kind of world is it being born into? The ethical debate begins here. Cloning extinct big cats sounds noble, a second chance at nature's legacy. But critics warn it may be more about curiosity than conservation. What happens to that tiger when it grows up? There is no Caspian forest left untouched by farms, dams, or cities. There are no wild prey populations to sustain it. No pride. No territory. No natural behaviors passed down through generations. It becomes a zoo exhibit. A science project. A wild soul in a concrete cage. There's also the surrogate mother to consider. Would a lion, leopard, or tiger be used to carry the cloned embryo? What health risks would that impose? What about rejection, deformity, or trauma? Do we value the life of the clone over the well-being of the surrogate? And if the first few clones fail, how many animals will suffer before one survives? Even if cloning succeeds, is it conservation, or spectacle? Some scientists argue the money would be better spent saving living cats. Tigers, leopards, lions, and cheetahs are all endangered in the wild. Why spend millions cloning extinct ones when their modern cousins are vanishing today? Conservation isn't about nostalgia, it's about ecosystems, biodiversity, and sustainability. Bringing back a single cat won't fix the forests it once ruled. Without habitat restoration, cloned animals have nowhere to go. There's also a deeper risk: human control over evolution. If we can bring back extinct species, do we begin choosing which live or die? Will we start redesigning predators to suit human needs, less aggressive, more display friendly? Will private collectors and wealthy zoos begin creating their own designer cats? At what point does de-extinction become degradation, a theme park version of nature? And let's not forget the welfare of the animal itself. Would a cloned saber-toothed cat feel at home in any ecosystem today? Would it experience confusion, isolation, or suffering in a world it never evolved in? Does bringing an animal back just to lock it in a lab violate its dignity? Ethicists argue that cloning without a clear, meaningful plan for reintegration is not compassion, it's exploitation. But there's another side to this story. If done responsibly, cloning could rebuild ecosystems long disrupted by extinction. The return of an apex predator can restore balance to prey populations, regenerate overgrazed landscapes, and breathe life into dead forests. A cloned Caspian tiger could rewild former river valleys, if protected habitats exist. A Barbary lion might help restore balance in Moroccan highlands, if poaching ends. Cloning could also improve genetic diversity in living cats by restoring lost traits. And beyond biology, these projects could rekindle global interest in big cat conservation. Imagine classrooms, donors, and policymakers move to act because they witness the rebirth of a creature thought lost forever. So, is it ethical? That depends on why we do it, and what happens next. If it's about science, ego, or entertainment, then it risks crossing the line. But if it's part of a larger, thoughtful conservation strategy that respects ecosystems, animal welfare, and long-term survival, then maybe, just maybe, it becomes something beautiful. Because the extinction of big cats wasn't nature's fault, it was ours. And if we now have the tools to reverse that damage, we carry the responsibility, too. But one thing is certain. The roar of a cloned big cat may echo through the labs of science. But whether it ever roars freely in the wild, that choice is ours.